somebody posed a question to me the other day about what the proper technique for gluing on a hairpiece with spirit gum is. And I said, oh, there's probably a ton of videos on YouTube that show how to do it. Yeah, there is, but none of them do it the way we do it on television or for movies. So I figured I'd throw together a simplified but informative little demo right here and now, showing how we do it. First off, with the spirit gum, and these videos on YouTube always show the people using the brush that comes with the bottle, which is way too small and insignificant to really do things right, and it's clumsy. So I like to use a real brush, and I use 99% alcohol to keep the brush clean during the process. I poured some of the spirit gum out here. And for this video, I'm just going to use a piece of scrap lace cut from a beard, so we can see this in close-up. And that's another thing with the YouTube videos that I was able to find. Nobody showed what was going on in close-up, so that's why we're so tight on this. So again, there's a lace hairpiece here. I'm going to take my big burly glue brush and just paint an area of glue onto the skin, like so. And then I'm going to take the hairpiece, or the lace of the hairpiece, and press it into that glue while it's still liquidy. And that's what you'll always see the YouTube videos saying, yeah, you gotta wait 5 to 10 minutes for the spirit gum to get tacky. Well, we're going to force that spirit gum to get tacky by doing what we call the pat and tack technique. So now I've embedded the lace into the glue that's on my skin, and then you can lift the lace and keep repeatedly pressing it, and as it starts to dry, it'll start to string and stretch and grab. That's one way of doing it. And it takes a while, because depending on how thick or thin your spirit gum is, it may take a while for it to grab. I can feel this starting to grab, but I want to show the additional way of doing it is just come in with your finger and start tacking it with your finger, and again you can feel it starting to tug as the glue starts to dry and get tacky. So it gets to a point where you can see, maybe I can do this at an angle, and there's actually no glue on my finger, but this glue on my arm skin is actually getting tacky now. So now I can put the somewhat saturated lace piece back in place and press that down and in. Get the camera to focus. And if it's still drying, you should be able to still lift the lace and keep tacking it and pressing it until it's got a good strong bond. And you can see that I didn't use a whole lot of glue. I wasn't like soaking it onto the skin. One thing about spirit gum is it's not, once it dries, it doesn't have a lot of elasticity, especially if it's thick. And also, you know, especially for cosplayers that are going to be wearing hair pieces all day long at conventions and stuff, spirit gum has a tendency to calcify if it's too thick. So you might see it start getting chalky or crusty looking around the edges. If it's too thick, applied too thick, it starts to get wanky that way. So you saw here, thin layer, tacking it together, and you know, at that point it's on there, good to go. And all the different companies sell a spirit gum remover, which can be isopropyl myristate or a combination of isopropyl myristate and perfumes, or whatever. In this case, all I'm using is 99% alcohol as the remover, which I would normally use to clean the lace piece as well as my brush, but I'm also going to use it to remove the piece from my skin. So when you work it on, get the lace up, get the 99% alcohol underneath the lace to release the piece from the skin. Then you can use, obviously, clean 99% alcohol to clean the rest of your skin, and then soap and water on that, and nice clean 99% alcohol, which you can get at hospital pharmacies or from your drugstore. If they might have 91% alcohol, but 99% is what we use in the biz. So, check around to see which pharmacies near you carry it. It's a lot cheaper than buying a bottle this size of the special spirit gum remover, for $5 to $20 or however much they charge for it, when you can get a bottle of 99% for like a couple of bucks in a 16-ounce bottle. Anyway, I hope that was informative and useful to you people asking that same question.